Yeah, guys, we can say 50-50 calls. We can say all these things. I want to come back to my earlier point. There's a few things that happen that's not typical us. We pride ourselves when we kick a ball. We've got the best chase line that you can have. And they plan that and the meter reach and the system. And I want to show you what I mean with some of these things. Let's have a look at that specific one. There's a single rabbit chasing. That's Faf. That's good. Now, normally behind him, there's a full-on line. They shout lines. The call is up and you space yourself and you don't let anyone counter-attack against you. Because your kick is, as vital that it's got to be a pressure kick. Now, in that situation there, and I want to show this clip again, and once I showed it here, that's typically not us. Now we rush up, typical our rush defense, but there's a dog leg. Normally, the middle guy leads it, and he is the head of that spear attack there, spear defense there, and that's one thing after the other, it's not us. The scrums, the mauls, the pressure on the kick, that's our DNA. Yeah. That's what we stand for, and that was never there. If I can ask the producer to show us that specific clip again, and let's just talk about when you're a defence coach as well, and the kick goes downfield. You don't just rush like a mad donkey. You make sure that your spacing is perfect. Now, for me, guys, you'll never, ever see that again in a Springbok side that they chase like that. You'll never ever, because it's a scattered line. It's primary school stuff. I'll pause it there now. There's no chase line. Where the green line is, that's where they should have lined up. Because if you shout lines, it's not only the line that you form. You pick a certain line on the field that forms the barrier of the defence. And that was non-existent. So, guys, that was the one thing. The other one, if you look at the defence with their sweeper, Mackie, with their defence system with Faf, you will not find the space behind every time to chip to. What happened, and let's have a look at that clip with the sweeper. You'll see there that Fafi normally from that situation there, if he's on the blind, they've got a planned sweeper, one of the wings to cover the chip kick. Now, if you look at this one, Fafi is just stuck on the blind. There comes the kick. That vacuum is way too wide for a typical Springbok side. Way, way too wide. And look, that's why I said earlier, I don't know if they wanted to show that space, or if they wanted to cover it, but that's just not good enough. And how can we lose 7 field kicks, Robbie? A Springbok side. Every time it went, the rub of the green went to the All Blacks. And again there, terrible defence line, no system, they're chasing shadows, they're corner flagging, and now suddenly the All Blacks look brilliant. They were brilliant. They were. Look, I'm not saying they're not brilliant, but that is just in any fight. If I can't fight against Mackie and I've got my hands behind my back, he's going to hit me, for sure. And I'm not so sure, although I'm not so sure you'll be able to.
No, but what I wanted to say, sometimes, when you're in that situation, you also get forced to keep your hands behind your back. So what I mean with that, if you look at that kick chase, the All Blacks returned it into the space that there was. They didn't go same side. They came back into the blind because they noticed that there was space on the blind side. From there on, getting in behind the defense, then they needed quick ball. Then Richie Mo'unga can decide, is he going to play flat, is he going to play at the back, is he going to attack the space? And that's exactly what they did. Even though, I hear what you're saying, we needed to get out onto the green line or onto the 10 to actually stay connected and actually make the tackle. But the All Blacks understood that we needed to keep the defense moving and not allowing the Springboks to get double hits and slowing the ball down for them to set and then, coming off the line again. They focused big time on the quick ball, and again, a good homework and really smart work from them.
Look, they did manage to catch our tight head and our loose head offside a couple of times, and they played in Channel A. They attacked the channel next to the rucks beautifully.
I want to, after this clip, I actually want to bring up the lineout. And I want to show you the All Blacks lineout package, just to show you how off we were, in terms of our game. Now, if we can play this, the Springboks, they pride themselves again on what? Pressure at the set phase. Lineout scrums. What then? Getting off the line, getting them behind the advantage line. This is the All Blacks line out. And not once do you see the Springboks actually contesting and applying pressure. So for me...
What's the reason for that?
Say it again?
What do you think?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure, because last week we were brilliant with it against Australia. But this week, not so. if you allow a team to play like the All Blacks, they will always punish you. And that's the one area where I thought we weren't because that for me, not for me, but in the Springbok policy is their first point of pressure, meaning at the set phase, line out all the scrums. Then they'll try and get and catch you behind the advantage line. Then it's an ugly tackle. Then they come and counter. Now, if you don't apply the first pressure, your second and third, it's going to be very difficult to recover and get off the line again.
Just on that, Jock's defence system starts at source, meaning at scrums. They can't just get a right shoulder to attack you. At line-out, you've got to make it as ugly as possible for them, not to give them freebies.
Absolutely.
And that's where you're 100% right. For me, at source, they just had a freeway. Freeway to go, and then it's very easy from there to get momentum, and now you can't blame the defence. So that's why I said earlier, I'm not saying whatsoever. I just wonder if they wanted to show anything. I saw afterwards the Freedom Cup. There was no celebration. No one lifted the cup and go crazy. Guys, these guys are busy with a plan going forward. That's my gut feeling. Now, there's one or two things that did happen before we start, if we can go there quickly at the exit play of the box. Owen, in the exit play, the box kicks, normally we win 80% success rate to us. In this case, they didn't go for the box kick. I thought Williams is on. He's a good box kicker. The pressure will be on. Damien called it wide, and suddenly I love this. And this is a positive for me. It went straight back, and there's in our 22, typical Springboks won't run from there normally. And there is a double overlap. We just had to pin harder there, man. Now run onto your man, soft hands, and then the winger can be away. But that is a brilliant exit. It's a run, pass, kick policy. I often refer to that. All I wanted there is one more pass, and Mapims would have been down the try line and gone. So that was a positive. That's out of sync as well. How many times against the All Blacks or big teams have we done that run from our own 22? Have you seen it?
Yeah, we did it last week.
Did we do? I was in Japan. I missed it.
You see?
So